growth point.
Well, news is just breaking on Reliance Industries, which has got the stock price very excited. It's now moved up close to about 2%. I think the board is going to be considering a bonus issue. I think in the next few days.
It's on the 5th of September, which is going to be on the next Thursday, where they will be considering a 1:1 bonus issue. So that is going to be taking place next week. We'll probably hear more about that from them in the Reliance AGM as well. And if history is correct, I think, the statistics are correct. The last bonus issue that they did consider at 1:1 was in 2017. But the right person to probably, delve a little further into this is Prakash Diwan. He's joining in to discuss this. Prakash, well, it's big news ahead of the AGM. They're going to be considering a bonus issue next Thursday on the 5th of September. Your first thoughts?
No, as you rightly said, it's taken quite some time for this kind of a milestone to be attained. The kind of from a debt-laden balance sheet to being light on debt. Of course, there's still debt given the projects that are underway. To have that kind of a cash on the books, which you can kind of capitalize, I think it's an immensely profound journey. I think the investors will probably look at the benefit. Of course, it doesn't really create any additional value from the stock that you own at 3,000 bucks odd, but it kind of brings up the number of shares in circulation, and that's something which the stock probably will benefit from. So very, very promising from that corporate action perspective. But I'm sure the AGM has got much more than just, this. This is, of course, something which is not bound to steal away the thunder, but the AGM has much more promising stuff to come. So we look forward to that in just about a few 10 minutes or.
Last bonus was in September of 2017 when Reliance went bonus, and prior to that was November of 2009. So it looks like every 7-8 years the company comes out and does a bonus announcement, and 1:1. The stock went into its AGM with relatively low expectations. We know, Prakash, historically that the AGM has been the platform for big bang announcements, whether it's been the telecom venture, the investments in new energy, the succession plan. But this time, I think that buzz was a little lacking. You've got the cherry on the cake. As you said, this is unlikely to steal the thunder. We've got that 1:1 bonus announcement that's going to come on the 5th of September. But if you had to lay out your top 3 key expectations, realistically, that could come out, what would it be?
The biggest thing that will move Reliance as a business, as a company to the next level is going to be the new energy business. So I would be extremely clued on to what indications we get in terms of timeline, in terms of quantum of growth that could start getting built into the stock. That will add such a different level of revenue stream, Reema. It's going to change. It's no more a telecom company. It's no more just an oil to chemicals company. It's no more a retail giant. It's going to morph into something very different. So that's the first one. The second, realistically, is probably timelines or some indication of the demerger, possibly, or the listing of the retail business, because that's reaching global scale. It's already in the top 10 in terms of not just footfall, in terms of the square footage that it covers, the kind of sales that it has been notching. So I would be extremely listening. And the third, which probably is not what the market's talking about much, Jio Financial has almost spent a year now on the listed space. But in terms of a new business rolling out of that, what all could be the roadmap, what areas they would focus on, how it's going to kind of morph into a much bigger player. And given the way we've got financialization happen in India, I would be surprised if that also becomes an engine of growth for the company. So, that's something which is very interesting for us. And of course, then you have a host of other things in terms of telecom and, announcement on O2C and stuff like that. But these three, to my understanding, are worth looking at, or kind of will definitely be very exciting to hear. And then don't miss out on the Reliance Disney deal, which has just come in at the 11th hour of sorts. And that could kind of also throw a lot of importance and spotlight on the media business.
Well, yes, I think those are the two big news pieces. The Reliance Disney deal ahead of the AGM, which is just about to start in less than 10 minutes, as you can see, around less than 9 minutes now. And separately, the cherry on the cake, which is the bonus issue, which they will be considering on the 5th of September, which is next Thursday. I think this would be the 5th bonus issue that they will be considering since 1983, where in 1983 they did consider a bonus issue in the ratio of 3:5. 1997 it was 1:1. 2009 1:1. 2017 1:1. So it's after a gap of 7 years that they are going to be considering another bonus issue. But Gurmeet Chadha joins in to discuss this as well. Gurmeet, first your thoughts on all of these big news pieces which have come out, the Reliance Disney deal ahead of the AGM as well as the bonus issue now.
No, I think significant, especially, I've been making this point since, they went, on a spending spree during the wedding of Anant Ambani. I think obviously you have huge digital plans. They made quite a, I think Jamnagar was the buzzword to begin with. And later on there were, other events to follow. I think it creates a nice digital giant. I think this could be India's Netflix moment. You have 100 plus channels. And, a lot of optimization will happen on the sports inventory as well, because they have IPL rights, they have the ICC World Cup, they have EPL, there's Olympics. So it becomes a very formidable force there. And a lot of advertisement, revenues can also be optimized, on that. So I think looks a good, solid, but, as I said, this is more long drawn. From an immediate perspective, I think this bonus news is positive. The stock has been consolidating now in a certain range. I think, but the bigger thing a street would want to know is clear-cut, I think, IPO plans for Jio and retail. And I think that to me would be the next big trigger for a giant like Reliance, where, if they can clearly specify the timeline in terms of when they want to do the Jio and retail IPO and any monetization in the energy business, because they're doing a lot of capex there. Any monetization there, would really, make the street feel very positive and optimistic.
Gurmeet, the first time where the IPO word was brought up, value unlocking for the Jio and retail business, was in the AGM of 2019. And after that, every AGM, shareholders, investors tune in, hoping to get some clarity on the roadmap and timeline. But do you think this time both the businesses, Jio and the retail businesses, are ready either for an IPO or maybe just a spin-off? Do you think this is the AGM when we will get that clarity?
Yeah, I can't be 100% sure, but I think that's the expectation, right, in the market, that probably this time there will be a clear timeline. Also, if you see, they've been now reporting numbers differently for each business's standalone. So whenever the results come, it is Jio first, and then retail, and then you get the, so the business anyways are being now, the numbers are being reported now in quarterly earnings for a time to come, and they do this AGM, which has now actually become one of the, most keen corporate events to look up to. We have been more used to Berkshire AGMs all our investing career. So I think, yes, I think the expectations are there. I think it's a question of when. I don't think so whether they will do it or not. I think it's a question of when they are going to. In between, there were some rumors in the market that they will probably do it on the day of Dhirubhai's birthday. But that did not happen. So let's see. I mean, we are about to know in a few minutes from now.
Okay, all right. Well, we have Deven Choksey joining in on the phone line. Deven, you've been a Reliance watcher for many, many decades now, I would say. So give us your sense. What is the expectation? And this big announcement of this bonus issue, which they will be considering in the ratio of 1:1, just 10 minutes ahead of the AGM. That seems to be setting the precedent or the stage for it.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful news to get. On a total shareholder funds of about close to 8 lakh crores as of March 24, I think you are converting that fund, out of which I think equity share capital is about 6,700 crores. So whatever the ratio it comes down to, 8-9%, I think is the amount of money that you are taking out of shareholders funds, and I think increasing the capital, giving the bonus. Excellent, I think, proposition. Largely due to the fact that I think on the operating side of the business, already the EBITDA base is around almost, I think, now 1,50,000 crores on per annum basis, and which is growing at a steady pace of growth of around 15% now. So certainly, I think whatever the additional shares which are getting issued to the bonus will have a direct implication as far as the business is concerned, because the business growth is being seen. And capitalization of this reserve and giving shares in the hands of investors, I think it's a better time. Maybe it's an indication for also the demerger of the retail and the Jio platform. That is what I think I can read in between the lines. But let's see, I think, what exactly they have to announce in the AGM, if at all.
Deven, the current market price of Reliance Industries is about 3,070. Do you want to help with an SOTP breakup of the various businesses?
Yes, I think between the consumer-facing businesses of retail and Jio platform, approximately, I think we are close to around 1,900 to 2,000 rupees stock price, I think, between these two businesses. Then the oil and gas exploration business and the O2C business, I think, where your refinery and petrochemical segment of the businesses, that constitutes somewhere around another 1,000 rupees, and balance, I think, is out of the other businesses. That is how broadly I remember these numbers. I think don't have immediately in front of me.
And within the digital consumer-facing businesses of Jio and retail, which according to your estimates should be say about 2,000 rupees. What's the breakup?
Should be, I think, 1,100 rupees for the retail business and about 900 rupees for the Jio platform.
Okay. All right. When it comes to the finance arm, in fact, Gurmeet, what are you expecting? Because that's listed. Prakash mentioned it that it's been listed for the past year odd. So give us a sense in terms of what is your expectation that we could hear something on that, Gurmeet?
I think they would probably lay out the roadmap for their asset management business, where they have done the tie-up with BlackRock. Of late there was news of they picking up decent real estate space in Mumbai, a large one. There'll be more news on the broking and the asset management business, as well as the insurance business, and more updates in terms of what are the new lending types. So I think it basically will be incremental businesses and initiatives they are doing across various different business they plan to incubate in Jio Finance.
Okay, all right. And Prakash, what about you? More specifics in terms of what we could expect for Jio Financial Services? Like Gurmeet mentioned, the AMC, which is something which the street is looking forward to.
Yeah, so Ekta, if you understand the chronology of the events, they've taken time to get into these tie-ups, which have very successfully been endorsed and cemented. Now it's time to kind of roll those things out and products and services to consumers. And the last development which I want to refer to here is the RBI permission to have 49% ownership in Jio Financial Services as well. Now, that's a big opportunity for them to be able to capitalize the company as and when it's required. Now, if there is a roadmap leading to that and the rollout of these businesses, then you actually have a behemoth which suddenly starts chugging along from day one. So that's what probably this AGM could lead us to in terms of anticipation.
Prakash, particularly for Reliance Jio, the telecom business, it appears to be now steady state in terms of operations. So, X of that big bank potential IPO announcement, value unlocking announcement, 5G is on track. The rollout is completed. They've got, I think, about 130 million subscribers now on the 5G network. The tariff hike has already been taken. Do you think we could hear anything on Reliance Jio, which could be market moving, or it will just be steady state? Prakash?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was for me. So yes, Reema, quickly I can tell you, the Reliance Disney tie-up actually paves the way for a bundled offering on the FTTH, which has been a bit slow in that sense, and that could take off. I focus on that, and things could very differently start looking positive for Jio without all those demerger stories. So I would be very positive if that were to happen in terms of this opportunity that comes up with bundling those services and getting FTTH to be a very veritable and a very logical move for the companies to start offering to its consumer in a fairly significant way, which has not happened till now.
Okay. And Gurmeet, a quick word on new energy specifics that you'd want to watch out for?
Yeah, as I said,